let's see. You say male privilege exists. We sort of talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, and I think female privilege exists too. It's just two sides.
Teresa, you also said male privilege exists.
I think both exist.
Okay, both male and female. Holly, you said male privilege exists.
Okay.
Okay. Jade, you said male privilege exists.
Yeah, both
and you
male
think and you think men are more privileged in society than women?
Yes.
Okay. Amanda, you said male privilege exists.
Sure.
And let's see if there's anything else here. Okay. I mean, I dispute that men are more privileged than women, and I don't even really like this whole male privilege thing because I think you need to look at the totality of somebody's circumstance. So there are perhaps male privileges, but I believe privilege has to be analyzed by the totality of someone's circumstance. So, for example, say a 5-year-old boy, but he has terminal cancer. Does he have male privilege? Is he privileged over?
Does anybody want to?
This is sort of intersectional. Does a 5-year-old boy with terminal cancer, is he more privileged than a woman who's perfectly healthy?
No.
Right. So we have to look at the totality of circumstances on the individual level. Mm-hmm. And so this idea that, and frankly, I can't even think of, and also male privilege has to be analyzed in comparison to female privilege. Because to indicate based solely on your gender, okay, it confers privilege. It would, in comparison to what? Men are privileged, for example. If we say men are privileged because they get $10 a year and women don't, this is just, I'm making something up. Men are privileged because the government says, you know what, men, you're so special. You each get a $10 a year check that women don't get. But they also have a corresponding duty. And say that duty is, as men, we can force you to go to war. And you can die, you can get PTSD, you can get maimed, you can get your arm blown off, you can get your leg blown off, you can get trench foot, you can die, all the bad things that are entailed with war. Would we say that in totality, knowing that men can be drafted, would we say that, well, men do get that $10 a year that women don't? Is it a male privilege?
I think privilege is subjective.
Is what?
Is subjective.
How would it be? It would be
like any type of privilege. Like, what is a privilege?
But I guess the point I'm trying to make is, in totality, I don't think we could say that, well, yes, men do get paid $10 a year by the government, women don't. That's a privilege, but they also have to go to war and die, and women don't. So in totality, where is the total male privilege? And that's what we have to do when we're talking about privilege, is compared to what, and what is the totality of circumstances?
I agree. 100%. I always think that environmental factors, and just like how you're. Oh, go, please.
I think when I read privilege, it made, for some reason, I thought men represent strength. Sure. And so they're the, maybe priority is a better word. Or,
yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Sure. So, Jade, you said men are more privileged in society than women. I don't know if there's someone else who said that. I think, I think that was just you, Jade. I'll open it up to the whole panel, though. Can anybody here tell me, when it comes to grievances, so male grievances, female grievances, can any of you state a singular female grievance that even approaches forced military conscription?
What do you mean?
Childbirth.
That's a choice most of the time?
No, I thought you said grievance. Isn't that a grievance?
How would that? How would that be? Like, I think I understand what you're saying is like that's something women have to deal with and men don't.
They just have to do it. They don't have a choice.
That couldn't be. But that could be a grievance. It's not like we could do something about that, right?
Well, you're saying that a man has to go to war, and in order to repopulate the earth, the woman has to give birth.
Yeah, but they're not compelled to give birth.
Right. Nobody's forcing them to.
The government doesn't force women. Like, there's not a draft for women. Oh, okay, like, you need to have kids.
I mean, if we were like physically stronger, I feel like it would be the same, but we're like
Yeah, but you're
drastically
not.
not. That's the thing. Biologically, we are not stronger.
Yeah, but I'm
So
just
it's like-
asking.
yeah, so it's just like if they're drafted to, if we are
Well, they're
drafted-
doing something that they
Well, but
they
wouldn't
have
that
to
say
do.
that- But wouldn't that say then that just because we're stronger, we should do this thing?
Well, it's just it does not make sense. Like if we're
You're
just gonna
doing
die.
Okay, hang on. I agree. If that makes sense to you,
Yeah,
then
I
just
mean-
because you can have children, you should.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
It's what you have to do.
Yes.
Like, I want to have children. You know, if people don't want to have children,
So then you should have children because you
yeah,
can.
I want to. Yeah, and I want to, but then
So
Wait.
no, you should. So it's actually immoral
Of
if you
course.
don't. Isn't it?
no, but it's not immoral
Well,
if you
then why-
don't.
hang
That's
on,
why
hang on,
there's
sorry.
like deserters. You know, like it's
Wait,
they
can
just.
you name for me a thing you should do, which isn't a moral claim?
Sorry, something I should do that is
Now,
immoral.
what is a should claim that is not moral? You
I
should do
should-
what, which isn't a moral claim?
Can you give me an example? A moral.
Yeah, what
okay.
should I do
That is moral.
unless, that isn't moral.
That isn't moral. That I should do. That isn't moral.
Shouldn't
Oh, that
do.
I shouldn't do.
What should not Andrew do, which is immoral?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
You don't know.
I could
Yeah,
possibly.
so
Yeah, I don't know.
when you say should, that's an ought claim. Like you
Well-
ought do a thing.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
wouldn't- Mm-hmm.
moral claims. Hang on. Those are moral claims. You're making a moral claim. So if you say men are stronger, therefore they should do thing,
I think
that
it's just
means
logical.
you're saying it's immoral if they don't do thing. So is it immoral if you don't give birth?
Well, they're capable of doing.
Hang on, let her answer, please.
Yeah. Okay. Is it
Is
immoral?
it immoral if you don't give birth?
No, but it's not immoral if you don't go to war. Like I'm not gonna be. the
Then
one-
it's not a should claim. Then
Yeah,
why
okay.
should I go to war?
Okay, you don't have to go to war.
Well, then it's absurd to say that because we're stronger, we should do that then.
Oh, you don't have to, but it's just more logical to put
Yeah,
the
but
strong.
you
people.
said to me that
Okay,
because
I
you
take it
can,
back.
you should.
Okay, my apologies. I
That's
worded it
like,
wrong.
like that. That makes no sense, right?
Okay,
That makes no sense.
correct.
So then here's my question to you.
Okay.
Should women who can give birth?
I said no because I don't agree.
No.
Yeah, correct.
Then should men who can protect you protect you?
No, unless they want to.
No. Yeah, right. So unless they want to. So we have a compelled draft, right?
I didn't. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I didn't choose
Okay,
it.
so if men are compelled to
That's
go
society
into a
thing,
draft
but, you know.
where they don't want to,
Okay.
right? Then you would have to say that that's immoral, right?
Of course, it is immoral.
Okay. So then if people attack the nation and they want to like carry you off as, I don't know, booty, let's say, they want to
Booty?
carry you off as literal treasure and then take you back to their home country and like, I don't know, SA you 1,000,000 times and cut off your head, should
Okay.
men protect you from that?
I'll protect myself. I'll off myself before that happens.
You're going to fucking protect
I'll
yourself.
off myself
Let me ask you a
before that
question.
happens.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Hang on, let me ask you a
Okay.
question.
Okay.
Little Miss gonna protect herself.
Okay.
Can you just walk me through how you load a semi-automatic pistol?
I don't know.
You're gonna protect yourself.
If I have to off myself
These
to
people are
protect
so
myself,
fucking
I will.
ridiculous. How do you people?
I'm not gonna expect anyone to protect me unless they. But then if that ever happens, I'd rather
Can't
off
hear you.
myself.
Andrew, your audio's muted.
I'd rather off myself than like have that happen, and that's how I'm gonna protect myself. Then I'm not gonna ask anybody who doesn't want to do it. If like that's my opinion.
Andrew? Hello? Can you speak? You got muted or something. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's on our end. Can you hear us, Andrew? Thumbs up if you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, we can hear you. Okay.
So can you just walk me through then? Gonna protect yourself. How do you load a revolver?
I after this podcast, I might just learn it. But right now, I don't know.
You're not doing now.
Oh, of course not. But now that you think about it,
You're
maybe
gonna
I
protect
will.
yourself. Yeah,
Maybe
you're
I
gonna
just
protect
will.
yourself. You're gonna
Yeah,
take care of
correct.
yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So let me just get this right. I just want to make
Okay.
sure I get your position right.
All right.
Wait, we
It's
got to
immoral
make
for
it
you
quick.
draft-
Andrew, you got to
it's
make it
immoral-
quick.
Hang on. It's immoral for you to draft men. That's bad. But on the other hand, I completely and totally am reliant on male security for my existence. But don't worry, I can actually protect myself, but can't even load a firearm.
That's not.
Do I have that right?
No.
Is that right?
No, it's not right.
No, that's not
I think
right?
it's immoral to only.
Are you going to use fucking karate? Are you going to
maybe.
karate your way out of it?
You know, maybe I'll learn that too. Fuck, man. Honestly, like you just. I don't know what you're
All
trying
right,
to get
next.
at.
So going to Teresa here. Teresa, you said that women do not have equal rights to men in the USA and that women are oppressed in the USA. What rights do men have that women don't?
Well, the abortion thing, for example, like some states, some women don't get to have an abortion if they choose to. What if you get raped? You're forced to have the baby? Like,
Try to use essay or grape if you can, please. Okay, besides that, is there anything else?
no, that was just the reason I circled it, because it made me think of that.
Okay. So, and then Amanda, you also said that women do not have equal rights to men in the USA. Why is that?
Yeah, that was the same because of abortion rights and
Anything else besides abortion, though, or just abortion?
that's the main thing.
Yeah. And then you said women are oppressed. Why are they oppressed? Or is it also abortion?
Also abortion.
Okay. So it's not clear to me, at least when it comes to equal rights, because the question or the statement is women do not have equal rights to men in the United States. Men don't have any reproductive rights. So wouldn't actually just an outright complete abortion ban create equality between men and women?
So you're saying ban all abortions and then it's even. That's what you're
Well,
saying?
equal rights.
Yeah.
So currently, men have no rights when it comes to reproduction.
Okay.
So it's not clear to me if there's an inequality that exists between men and women when it comes to abortion. Men can't abort a woman's child. They can't prevent an abortion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for this reason, it's not clear to me if it's an inequality of rights between men and women. You could say it's an exclusively female issue. Sort of, you could say that.
I hear what you're saying. It's just not fair, in my opinion.
You guys, all of you, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I have to get out of here tonight. It is my job to be a provocateur and make sure that I give the other side of all of the arguments. I hope you don't hold that against me, because I do it really well. But I did enjoy meeting all of you, and I have conversations like this all over the world. Brian, we'll send a raid over
Thank you, man.
your way. Thanks for having us on this evening.
Thank you, Andrew. Hope you have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, in the sources tab, hide the Discord. Hide Discord there, and then we'll do it center Zoom too. Hide it there. All right. Okay. All right. Andrew has left the house here, so you guys can just bully me, I guess. But you said it's not fair?
I don't think it's fair.
I think it's kind of unfair for some men who want to keep the baby and then they have an abortion anyways. Like, I think that there is some type of inequality in that. Personal opinion.
Or what about the man who doesn't want the kid, but the woman keeps it, and she baby traps him, and he's on the hook for child support for 18 to 21 years?
I mean, it's like it takes two to tango, you know?
What do you mean?
Like, you made a baby together, so...
Are you pro-choice or pro-life?
I am I don't know. Like, when I was younger, I got tricked by the feminists, be like, abortion, everyone loves abortion and stuff. But then I've never had one. I would never want to have one. I think that people should have them if it makes sense for them.
What does that mean?
Like, I mean,
Okay, here, 19-year-old girl gets pregnant. She's not financially ready. She doesn't want to have the kid. Can she get an abortion?
Yes.
Yeah,
asking her.
if she wants to, absolutely.
Okay, so you're pro-choice.
I
You're
guess,
pro-choice.
Okay, yeah.
Categorically, you're pro-choice. There's no way around it. Why is it, though, you say, if a man knocks up a woman and Maybe she baby traps him. Oh, I'm on birth control. I don't want a kid. She lies. Or whatever. She doesn't lie. She accidentally gets pregnant. His intention, though, was not to have a kid. He doesn't want the responsibility. He doesn't want to be a father. He doesn't want to pay child support. To him, you say, takes two to tango, tough luck, enjoy getting financially fucked and paying child support for 18, 20 years, whatever it is. Why do you say that to the man? But there's no responsibility when it comes to the female component of this.
No responsibility in terms
Well,
of...
it seems like you're a little more flexible if a woman gets pregnant and you're like, she's not financially ready. Okay, go ahead, get the abortion.
Not so much. I just
but
think
man,
that people are going to do
luck.
it anyways, and it's like their karma, and like everything has a like.
Wait, what's
consequence.
karma? What?
Like, yeah, so like if a 19-year-old wants to have an abortion, like I think she should be able to do what she wants to do.
Okay, should a 19-year-old man, should a 19-year-old man who doesn't want to have a kid, should he be free of having to pay child support?
No, he should just wear a condom. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So just to be clear, to men, keep your legs closed. To women, fuck around and you can have an abortion.
No, just have an IUD.
What? But you do realize there are unwanted pregnancies.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
But women can escape the responsibility. Men can't.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's wrong. That's more unfair to me.
I think it is unfair. I agree.
Yeah,
with you.
it is unfair. But why are you prescriptive? Why are you saying, okay, tough luck, man. Sucks to be you. You should have thought about that before having sex. You should have kept your legs closed. It's funny how pro-choice women, all of a sudden, when the woman wants to keep the kid and then the guy doesn't want to be a father, you become Bronze Age pro-lifers and you're like, shouldn't have done that. Should have kept your legs closed. Why is that?
Wait, so is your like thing about like having abortions is because if males don't want to have the kids, basically they shouldn't have to pay child support and all that stuff? Is that the main like thing? Is that the main?
No, I mean I'm making a internal critique of her position. So my position though, in any state where abortion is legal, I think men should be able to escape any parental responsibility and any child support responsibility. You agree, but it's never gonna fucking happen.
Yeah, I agree, but
It'll
instead
never
of,
happen.
I think that's way better than like being like you can't abort. That's way better. Like just like, okay, if she wants to have the kid and take responsibility, then there should be a thing where he doesn't have to pay child support. But then for abortion,
no
but for abortion,
there's nobody advocating for this. It's not liberals who advocate for it.
Yes.
That would be fair though. That would be equal. But where are all these equal Democrats and liberals advocating for? There's a specific term. It's called legal paternal surrender.
Yes,
so men can be like,
that's way safer than abortion. Because
right, but abortion is legal in left-leaning countries.
And they should definitely do that instead of like forcing people to abort. You know, just like because it is the girls like getting.
I'm just gonna say, my biological dad left me, and my mom didn't ask my biological dad for a penny. He's never paid child support.
Yeah, not all women.
I know, but I get it. Some women, they're not going to go after child support, but if they do, there's nothing the man can do about it.
Then there should be, 100%.
Okay. Let's see here. We're gonna do here. We have a message coming through. Is there anything else though, like any right that a man has that a woman doesn't? I can't think of anything. I think there's equal rights.
Showing their nipples.
Sure, I actually agree with that. But I don't really think that that's.
So funny.
It's true though.
Yeah, but I'm looking for something with a bit more gravitas.
Yeah.
Like, that's not.
That's fair.
Doesn't really seem like the pressing issue, We have Hack the Planet. Brian, you're a legend for hosting the show. Andrew, this question is for you. Oh, sorry, man, he left. I just can't get behind the idea of a sky daddy being real. What should I read to change my mind through reason and logic? So here's what we can do.
What's a sky daddy?
God. If you send me a DM on Instagram, I'll save this message for next time we have Andrew on. Send me a message on Instagram, just copy and paste that message. I'll ask him next time. I don't want you to feel like we screwed you over, but he did have to leave before we could get to it. Super chats are $100 and up, guys. Like the video. Venmo, Cash App, whatever pod. Let's see. Daniel, thank you for the 10. Brandon, thank you for the 10. Vaquero, thank you for the 10. Appreciate it, guys. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to blast through these. I think we only should hopefully have a few more. So going to you, you said minorities can't be racist towards white people. Why is that?
I just don't think there's a need for any racism, to be honest.
Sorry, there's what?
There's no need for it. I just don't. I think everyone has a hard in some aspects of life, and there's no need for more. Just stuff like that.
What do you mean?
I think it's just like, yeah. So your question is, minorities can't attack white people, right? Was that the
minorities can't be racist towards white. So, for example, a black person can't be racist towards somebody
Yeah, that's
who's
because
white.
I feel like just racism is just no go altogether, regardless of white, black, or something like that. Simple.
But so I agree with you. Racism is bad.
Yeah.
But can white people experience racism?
Of course they can.
Can a minority be racist towards a white person?
I mean, they can, but it's not right.
Oh, perhaps maybe the wording here. So, it's minorities can't be racist towards white people.
Yeah, they can't. I just feel like nobody should be racist to anybody.
I think what you're saying, like yeah, it's wrong. Like they shouldn't, but he's saying like can they? Yes or no?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
anybody can do anything, but I think nobody should just leave things.
Okay, but because here you said that that, for example, like a black person can't be racist towards white people.
Yeah, I just
wait.
don't.
So yes or no?
Yes, they can't be racist.
Wait, so they can't be racist.
I mean, like
towards.
Yeah, I think that it's not good for anybody to be racist.
Wait,
whether
how do you define can't?
Okay, are you saying like
No.
Can't as in like they shouldn't. Like I don't think it's I don't think they're like.
No, it's not should. It's can they?
Can they? I mean, yeah, anybody can do anything. I don't get it.
No, I'm not saying.
What he's saying is the majority that because races or different races are supposedly the minority, that white people can't be racist, or you that
that's not what I'm saying.
No.
It's a yes or no question.
No, look.
No.
Wait, so
I think by definition, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Confused about the question.
Like by definition, I think
Sorry. Go ahead.
people of color can be prejudiced against like white people,
Yes,
but I think but racist because racism is systematic. And there's not a whole system that oppresses white people the way that there is a whole system that oppresses people of color. So I think the way that you're wording it, can they be racist? No, because there's no systematic support. But can they be prejudiced? Yes. If we're talking about definitions,
I think
that's what.
I think it's she's not understanding the question though, and also you didn't really indicate that on your own questionnaire, but
Well, I didn't because I knew what you were doing with that. But
You
like,
can just move on.
what was I doing with it?
well, I think the gotcha is like, oh, like
How's
you
it
can't be racist.
How's that a
there's
gotcha?
prejudices. This is like off language. Like, what's the definition of racism?
What's your definition of racism?
Like being discriminatory against somebody for the color of their race or the color of their skin.
Well, you said there's a systemic
But
component.
I'm pretty sure based off of the definition of racism that it has something to do with like systematic oppression. And that's why you have to be careful with the way that you're wording that.
Well, no, mine would just be either like a hatred or prejudice towards a racial group.
Okay.
That's my definition.
Then everybody
But some
can.
people say
but I
race.
think there's a different one.
Yeah, well, the different one that I hear from wokies is racism equals prejudice plus power. So, for example, under this definition, white people cannot experience racism. I disagree with this definition. Can't experience racism from minorities, blacks, Latinos,
think they
Asians.
can.
Because the system doesn't support that. That's where that comes from.
By the way, Kat, thank you for the gifted 50 memberships. Appreciate it. It's not popping up on my Streamlabs for some reason. But so, okay,
This is my sociology degree at work.
but is that your definition?
But it doesn't have to be systemic to be like racism is not only systemic. Racism is how you interact with someone, and there can be a systemic component to it. But like it's being prejudiced against someone's race, just
Yes.
like sexism. So by that definition, anyone can be racist towards anyone because, you know.
I feel like this is
Okay.
like a dicey question because I do think that like, yeah, anyone that's a different color can have like racism against someone of another color, but in definition, I think it does play into.
Yeah, but I mean, if it depends. If you attribute a definition, for example, people named Amanda are racist.
That's not a definition.
No, racism is prejudice towards a racial group or hatred towards a racial group, and also anybody who's named Amanda is also racist. By that definition, you would be a racist, right?
But that wouldn't be a definition. That's such a weird hypothetical. That would never be a definition.
But we
That's,
can.
like, so
but okay,
random.
so but the definition you're suggesting, racism equals prejudice plus power. Why would we divert from the established and accepted definition of racism, which is just
But
purely
is prejudice, like, racism itself has to do with power, but prejudice does not. And I think that's the difference.
Wait, so you're saying racism has to do with power?
Well, I want to know the
disagree.
definition of it because I don't know.
Well, there's different definitions.
Okay, well.
I think the most
don't know it.
the most historically accepted version of a definition of racism is simply hatred or prejudice towards a racial group.
Yeah.
And there's no component of power or systemic power or oppression or anything like that.
Okay, then based off that, then like, yeah, anybody can be.
Right, but people are trying to change the definition to racism must, in order for something to be racist, it must include a component of power.
What does
So-
Google say?
Huh?
What does Google say?
Yeah, let's
Sure, I'll Google it.
to Google AI.
Definition of racism. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group. So that's racism. Now I've heard from like this prejudice plus power definition, but anyways, just gonna move it on then. Let's see if there's anything else here. We have, men should pay for first dates. Why?
Because if you're, okay, I feel like if a man is asking a girl out and you're asking me out, why aren't you going to pay for the first date? You're trying to take me out. Like if I say to someone, hey girl, like let's go out, I'm going to treat them, you know? It's just one of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jade, you said you would not date a police officer.
Yeah, just because like the domestic violence statistics with that, like just certain professions, I just try to steer clear from stuff like that.
Okay.
Like the trauma that they deal with and then they bring it home and then it's,
What do you think about men not wanting to date sex workers? Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Because everyone has their boundary, like their sexual boundary.
Sure.
Their, you know.
All right.